When it comes to personal finance, a lot of people act like they just weren't born with the gift of managing their money well, right? They act like things are too tempting and therefore they just give in, and they're always basically predestined to be broke, to handle their money poorly. Money management is the same as most behaviors, where if you practice doing it correctly and practice doing it well, you can improve upon that. Just like with addictions, or people's coffee habits or soda habits, or whatever. When you have basically practiced actions, you become very good at them, or in this case, the opposite. You become very poor at handling your money, or you drink too much coffee or too much soda, too many treats in the day, right? People are often under the impression with exercise that if I was just born athletic, I would exercise more. Well, people who are athletic practiced exercising in sports, and therefore they have sort of an athletic vibe. And there's been some fantastic studies over time that show exactly that people aren't just born athletic for the most part, right? Some people are born 6'8" and 200 plus pounds, and if they exercise, work out, and practice their skill, then all of a sudden they become, LeBron James. But others who basically say they're not athletic, it's not because you were born unathletic for the most part, right? You could become athletic by practicing. So I want to just tell two quick, stories about the Marshmallow Experiment. You may have heard of Walter Mischel. I don't know if you say that correctly, because he was from Austria, ended up coming to the U.S. as a result of the war. And he became a phenomenal psychologist, and he led many programs, university programs in psychology. But he's famous for the Marshmallow Experiment, which you've probably heard, where they put like 4-year-old children in a room, put a marshmallow right in front of them on the table, and say, you can eat that marshmallow anytime, but if you'll wait until I come back to eat this marshmallow, then I'll give you a second marshmallow. That experiment showed that those children who ate the marshmallow before waiting for the second marshmallow kind of carried those patterns throughout their life, and they made a lot of similar decisions with their money and with relationships and things like that. So their success was far less, right? Now, the ones who were able to delay the gratification, let the marshmallow sit there and tempt them for the 20 minutes or whatever they were waiting, and then ate 2 marshmallows, were much more successful in general. Now, they learned later, when Dr. Mischel teamed up with another psychologist named Albert Bandura, and I believe at this time they were in Stanford. And so Bandura wanted to challenge this experiment and see if children could actually learn how to delay gratification. And so what they did is they put children in the room with some adult who was good at delaying gratification. And so these children observed adults deploying specific actions to delay their gratification. So they might put their head down on the desk for a nap, or get up and go engage in some activity, start drumming, etc. So they found ways to distract themselves. So the key here that I'm trying to get to is that they deployed specific actions and abilities. So it's not that they just sat there focusing on the marshmallow and had a stronger willpower. They deployed certain activities and actions to distract them from being tempted by the marshmallow. So they were able to delay their gratification simply by removing it from their main thought process until the scientists came back and gave them another marshmallow. And they found that this same thing can be duplicated throughout other things. I already talked about the athleticism thing. It's not that most people are born unathletic, athletic. The athletes became athletic by deploying specific patterns, behaviors. I often talk about this in my own life as far as sports, right? I was an athletic kid. I played all the sports I could, and I made it to college as far as basketball. But it wasn't until college that I all of a sudden learned that there's like specific types of workouts that truly develop your game skills. So I spent countless hours just playing like scrimmage games with my friends. We played literally every day throughout most of my high school, but we didn't practice specific drills and dribbling and shooting drills and things like that. We just kind of scrimmaged. Well, NBA players spend hours and hours working on like a skill. And so then they, that year they're much better at that skill, and the next year they work on a different skill. And so they spend hours literally just doing that skill. They don't even play the game that much. So learning what behaviors need to be deployed in order to control your finances in the same way that a millionaire does is extremely important. And my guess is if you're completely broke, despite the fact that you make good money, it's because you haven't deployed these, and you probably are not even educated on what these strategies are. So that's where we're going to go next in this series, is what are the specific strategies that we need to deploy regarding finance that people can be taught, that you can learn. Anyone can learn this and deploy this and improve their financial situation and become a millionaire. I recently read the book Everyday Millionaires, and the statistics are very interesting. The majority of millionaires basically came from low or middle income classes. They were given very little financially from their parents as far as like inheritance. Most received no inheritance. And they learned how to save, how to delay gratification, how to invest in simple forms of investment using, employment, 401ks, things like that. And they just spent less than they earned, right? There's simple things. We'll get into it. But they figured out what the strategy was and stuck to it over time, and they became millionaires. The average age of them becoming a millionaire, as far as like net worth millionaires, was 49 years old, which seems quite young when you start thinking about your own situation in life. So we're going to get into these. Hey guys, thanks for watching. As always, I love to hear your comments, so please comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get notified when new videos come up, so you can stay engaged with the conversation and stay motivated. For additional resources and information, go to bronsonwilks.com.